Welcome back. Time now for our first midday forum on this Tuesday. Joining us is Dr. Aaron Robinson with CHI Health, and we're talking vaping today. And Doctor, first of all, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely, happy to be here.
Surviving the cold out there, the Arctic blast?
A little breezy.
Yeah, a little, yeah.
Put two coats on this morning.
Right, good for you. All right, good for you. Let's get right to this. Is a very serious topic, obviously. Lots of kids, young people vaping. It's really taken off in the last few years. I'm reading this is from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. As of November 5th of this year, 2,051 cases of e-cig use associated with lung injury in 49 states, 39 deaths, and products containing THC playing a major role in the outbreak, apparently. There's still some unknowns. I know there's still some gray areas, but what's the bottom line, Doctor? Right now, what do we need to know? What do you want people to know, our audience to know about vaping?
So vaping is being pushed as an alternative to smoking, which in European countries, it's really being pushed a lot as an alternative to smoking. But the biggest problem with vaping is we just don't know what is in the e-juice, the stuff that goes into the vaping device, the e-cigarette. And that's where the big problem happens. We've noticed the CDC has done a lot of work on this, looking at the deaths, looking at the different lung-related illnesses, trying to connect the dots. And they haven't found concrete answers yet, but they found a few things that have been common in these deaths.
The latest, for example, vitamin E acetate. I'm not even sure
Correct.
what that is.
Yeah.
There's a connection there?
Yeah, so this is basically vitamin E, but when you take a pill of vitamin E, you're swallowing it into your GI tract, you digest it, it gets put into your cells and used appropriately. They put it into the e-juice to thicken it up so that you can make bigger clouds and all these kinds of things that the kids like to do. And when you inhale it, it's a fatty substance, a lipid, and that gets stuck in the lungs. And so they think that that may be a big reason why people are getting this really bad lung-related illness. And most of these are seen in quote-unquote black market e-juices. A lot of them contain THC, the active chemical in marijuana, but they also are being found in patients who did not use THC cartridges. So it's a big breakthrough. The CDC's done a lot of work to try and find connections, and that's maybe potentially a candidate for one of the reasons that we're having these lung diseases.
Okay, so we're still in this mystery phase here of trying to find out and nail it down exactly what it is. In the meantime, smokers will tell you, listen, I've been smoking cigarettes since I was 20 years old. I'm 50 now, and I'm trying to beat the habit, so I moved over to the vaping. They say that's better or not as dangerous as cigarettes. What do you say to that?
It's just different. We know that there's a link between smoking and lung cancer and oral cancer and all these kinds of things.
With tobacco.
With tobacco. Mm-hmm. We don't know what the long-term effects of vaping are.
But the vaping has no tobacco, right? Just
well, you can add nicotine into it, but there's no byproducts of combustion like there is in tobacco, the tar, all those other things that have been known to be associated with cancer. But in vaping liquid, the e-juice, it's completely unregulated. And so these companies, from multiple locations around the world make e-juice, and they load it with different chemicals to perform a certain function, make a big cloud, have a certain taste, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's the problem with the vaping issue, is that we just don't know what's in it. And we're starting to see some of those repercussions with these people who are getting these severe lung illnesses just from vaping maybe one time.
I know the Trump administration is trying to push out get rid of the flavored e-cigs, looking out for young people. But we could go on this topic for a long, long time. We only have a few moments here, and we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly here. I do appreciate your coming in. What's the bottom? If there's a parent, maybe a grandparent out there watching right now, they know their teens are that's big in school. I've got teenagers. They say these kids can go in the bathroom. You don't. The old days you could smell the smoke coming out of the room.
Right.
No,
it's just hidden.
It's hidden.
They look like USB drives.
Yes.
You can't even know that they're using them.
So, what would you tell? Because I don't want to demonize the industry yet, because we don't know yet,
right.
And you have to be fair in all this, right? And I don't want So what do you tell the parents and grandparents of the teens who might be using these and dipping into this stuff?
You just have to make sure you have good communication with your teen. And I know that's a hard thing to do, but you have to broach the subject. And you as a parent need to educate yourself. There's not a lot of resources because we just don't know that much, but the CDC website has a lot of good information. The most important thing is to communicate with your teen to see if they are vaping, if they have friends that vape, if they know what vaping is. And that's going to lead into a discussion.
And if they are, don't buy it off the black market, correct?
Absolutely
not.
Stay
away from it.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy from your friend, even online, you don't know what's going in that stuff. You don't know the chemicals involved. You might be inhaling poisons or what have you.
And that's the big problem in schools, is that you have to be 18 to buy these things. And so the kids that buy them are the older kids in school or kids who aren't in high school, and then they come sell them to the younger kids at school.
Okay.
And so they're not getting them in the appropriate way.